God, there's another chapter.
I'm just
15?
reading
I'm
chat.
50 now.
I was just reading chat real quick.
No, not DDLC.
Watch next time you head into your condo. Galatea has a noose around her neck and is just cleaning up the house.
No.
That's
No.
so dark, but that was really
I'm
funny
gonna be
because
desperate to make Galatea happy at this point. I'm so...
if she asks again, you'd be like, "Fine, I'll fuck you." Yeah, Ninja Kai's right. Galatea just needs to learn that there's other fish in the sea.
That's what I was hoping would happen, honestly. I was like, it's okay.
Make her a robo hunk. Yes,
I will do that. I will do that. I'll make her a robo hunk. I'll support them in any ways I can. Okay, Parker, here we go. I'm 50 now, right? 50. Yep, 54 years old. I'm old.
You are old as fuck. Hey, to be fair though, you ended this with the most humanity that I've ever seen. I'm around like 60s. There's times I've gotten to the 20s before.
I'm just glad Famulo's turned out okay.
Dana's turned out great. Can't defend themselves for shit, but great. 15 years later, you find yourself in Surprise, Arizona. That's a place. Walking up to your mother's house. A few of the cacti in front have Santa hats on them. It is the year 2049, and you're about to surprise your mother with a present for the holidays. She has finally been released from the hospital after surgery performed by robots of your design. You're proud to note and is living on her own in her retirement community. The houses in Surprise are shabby and trash litters the streets. The United States is still recovering from the loss of the Sino-American War 20 years ago. Yeah, no, okay, that's fair.
I did lose the war very, very poorly. It was not great.
I don't think it was a war. It was a slaughter.
But I got out of prison, and that was nice.
Made an dollar.
I did made an dollar. I'm holding on to that dollar.
This retirement community is full of people like your mother who lost their jobs in the war or a little before and never got them back. What did you get your mom?
A robo-dog, a robo-cat, or a 3D printer so she can send and receive objects over the internet.
That's the coolest evolution of fax machines I've ever heard of.
These two. Let's go with the printer. That seems nice. I can send stuff to mom. I got an achievement. Filio.
Alright. Mom continues to send cards in the mail the old-fashioned way, when they could just as easily be replicated on the spot with a mail printer. This one, yeah, fax machine. This one is also pretty good at printing baked cookies. What?
Wow.
What kind of 3D printer is this? According to the reviews online, although the toffee chips still gum up the works. You knock on Mom's front door. Coming! You hear her call from inside. When Mom answers the door, you see her left eye is synthetic. Though it is intended to look as human-like as possible, it doesn't dry. It looks dry and its movements are just not quite as fast as those of the human eye. She had been going blind in that eye and had opted to have it replaced shortly after her tumor was taken out. The hair near the site of her original surgery is a little dry and thin, and it's all gray, and your mother is very old.
This is so depressing.
She smiles when she sees you and gives you a hug, which you return. Come in, come in. Inside, you find your mother's cleaning robot still busily puttering about the house, cleaning up. They look like cute little cats and mice, designed to move as if one was prowling after the other. That's cute. When in fact the mouse is proactively stealing away the larger crumbles before the cat vacuums. They were Ellie's original design. She is now working as a product designer for a robot company in Canada.
Good for Tammy.
You hope she's doing well. Did you ever marry Tammy?
Look, if I'm sitting in my depression grave as Galatea's just in a closet, never to be happy again.
Yeah, could you not just quietly, like, and when in the middle of the night, just turn Galatea off and just put her away? Like, okay, that was a mistake. Let's not do that.
Oh, I feel so guilty, man. Yes, we got married. Yeah, it's gonna haunt me.
Photos of your wedding day with Tammy are framed on the wall of the living room. Following your gaze, Mom says, "Can you believe how long it's been?"
The years go by quickly.
You agree. But you're still as in love as the day you got married, right?
More. apparently.
Considering you only had up to go from where you were barely hanging on, yes, I hope so.
God.
You should have brought Tammy down.
Next time.
You promise. Did you have a child?
Honestly, Famulus is my kid.
I respect that. You always knew deep in your heart that Famulus would be the only child you ever had. Your bond is still stronger thanks to the time you spent together over the years. It occurs to you, looking through all the stuff with Mom, that the whole time you were concerned about the future of your creation, Famulus, Mom was excited for you in the same way. You were her creation, miraculously walking through the earth, so full of intelligence, accomplishing great things. I have something for you too, Mom says. She goes into her closet and fetches a brand new Mini-Me robot kit. It's a robot construction kit composed of little arms and wheels that plugs into a smartphone. You examine it skeptically, convinced Mom would have gotten something on sale that only worked with a smartphone from 20 years ago, but it looks new. It's for Famulus, Mom says. She said she was interested in building a robot.
You talk to Famulus?
All the time, Mom says. We've always been very curious about each other.
Huh.
You say.
Well, if I know Famulus, she probably has something more ambitious in mind, but maybe I'll give this to the robot she makes.
I suppose Famulus is more like a robot parent, Mom says. Robots are such interesting creatures.
Anyways, I've got to fly back now.
You say.
Happy holidays, Mom.
You hug your mother, present the mail printer. She loves it, but you think she wouldn't let you know if she didn't, and then you say your goodbyes. Later that day, you set out for home. Your car navigates the twists and turns of your mother's old neighborhood by itself before heading to the local airfield. You recall in your youth that you had some notion you might make cars intelligent enough to hold a conversation. Now, you're a little sad you never got around to it, though the technology does exist. You find the inferior AIs installed by car manufacturers irritating, and bought a car without the feature. You pull out a tablet and begin to read the newspaper as your car does its work silently and efficiently. The top headlines these days are all about China, 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 engaging in skirmishes in the Pacific and Indian Oceans, flouting the ineffectual mandates of the United Nations, building factories overseas. It's nothing serious, merely a new superpower flexing its muscles. You suppose this is what it must have been like to grow up somewhere that wasn't the United States, though you suppose you'll never know. You feel the lurch of acceleration, and you know without looking up that you are airborne. Where did Tammy, and Galatea, and Famulus decide to spend the rest of your
Every time
days?
it mentions Galatea.
You just shudder a little bit.
Either Cambridge, Massachusetts, Palo Alto, where I went to grad school. I love seeing what the young people are working hard to create. We decided to move to a small town in Hope, Canada. We remain in Canada, where the factory was. Vancouver, we decided not to stay in the United States after the war. Vancouver, Canada would be nice. I've been there. It's pretty cool.
All right, we're going to Vancouver. You've seen enough of the United States, perhaps more than you wanted to see. If Canada is the same wine in a different bottle, well, at least you don't know where the bottle has been.
Oh boy.
It's dark out by the time you make it home. Winter always catches you by surprise each way. You live in a humble condo that you purchased some years back. It's nice to have something you can call your own, even if the condo associated doesn't see it that way. Welcome home, you hear Tammy call from the dining room. You enter to find Tammy has laid out a sumptuous feast for you on the dining room table. Lit candelabra, wine glasses, some kind of bird that looks like it's real instead of 3D printed meat. Several kinds of buttered veggies on the side, the works. Tammy sets down a candle, rushes back down, and kisses you deeply. Tammy's learned how to cook, by the way.
Wow.
Thanksgiving... it's you.
Oh, Thanksgiving came early, apparently.
You say.
This looks great.
You know I get so anxious without you, Tammy says. Cooking is my release. You have mixed feelings about the way Tammy needs you and dotes on you, but you can't turn down a good meal. Let's eat. I don't know who said that, but I'm saying it. The two of you sit down to eat, and you tell the story of your visit to your mother's house. She's actually... no, that's you.
Oh, she's actually looking quite good for a woman who just had surgery, but walking around her place made me realize how old I'm getting.
Galatea glides by carrying a tray of little wrapped bacon dates. For you, Fishy.
Thank you.
You take one, and the robot returns to the kitchen and make more, that.
Amuse-bouche.
Amuse-bouche. That never gets old, you think. Listen, at some point you just gotta think. You gotta go with the headcanon that you programmed depression out of Galatea.
I can't. I hope I. This is like 15 years later. She's like never recovering depression. This is permanent.
They just program it out of her.
There's also some snail.
There was also some snail mail for you, Tammy says.
Really?
Tammy leaves briefly and returns with a bottle of Alaskan wine, a 2040 Cabernet Sauvignon. And a card. Josh wishes you the best for the holiday season and wanted to let you know he started a charitable foundation for kids coming out of juvenile hall and trying to figure out what to do with their lives. Finally got my wish to change the world in a way that I was unequivocally proud of, and I have you to thank for it in a part. Merry Christmas, Josh. That's sweet, Tammy says. I'm going to go say hello to Famulus, you tell Tammy. Oh, fuck, whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna go say hello to Famulus.
You tell Tammy. Tammy waves you away, of course. You peek into Famulus's room. She's busy trying to construct what looks like a small version of herself. So intent is Famulus that when you say, "Hi, Famulus," she practically jumps. "Fishy, you have returned," Famulus says, and she greets you with a hug.
You're creating a child?
You ask tentatively. Famulus nods. "I recalled my early days when you were still explaining the world to me," she says, "and I came to the conclusion that to really understand the world, you must explaining to another."
I'm not sure I understand it better,
You say.
but I think it does force me to think about it. Maybe that's a path to understanding.
Indeed, Famulus says, as if this obviously were the logical conclusion of what she was saying. It takes a moment to realize something's not right. It's like the opposite of a headache. Your head feels a little too light. You can't see very well. You're not sure when you stop seeing very well. But when you think about it, you realize you really can't really see Famulus in front of you. There's also a roaring in your ears, like static. Was I a robot all this time? You think absently? Maybe that explains everything. Fishy? Famulus asks. What's wrong? You look pale.
Am I having a stroke?
You realize that now you can't see anything. You only hear Famulus's voice. This is what it's like to not see, you think distantly. It's not black. It's not anything.
Help.
You say faintly.
Did I just fucking die?
You're sitting in a cliff next to the sea. Galatea is sitting next to you, as she was when you first met in a dream many years ago.
Uh-oh.
You know, you surprised me, Galatea says. I told you it would take a lot of you to create me, but you've remained basically good, as human can be.
Thanks.
You say. It feels good to hear Galatea say that, even if it was only a dream. Galatea looks out at the sea. I hope I was what you wanted.
It's okay, Galatea. You're everything I dreamed. I'm just happy to be your friend. I'm sorry I was so focused on robots. I think I neglected you. I'm sorry I wasn't prepared to take responsibility for you.
To be honest, that last one's really real, isn't it?
It really is. I feel like I really want to apologize.
Yeah. I think she's owed an apology, personally. Galatea nods. I admit it's always been strange that you were also my guardian. It makes romance awkward.
I realize that now.
You say. Galatea throws her arms around you. How will I live without you? I don't understand. Don't you understand you've made it so that's impossible?
Let's hope it won't come to that.
You reply. I'm afraid I think it has, Galatea says.
I die?
Let's find out. You wake in a hospital room. A small garden in the windowsill, probably tended by the robot nurses, lends a floral scene to the room. The paintings on the walls are Thomas Kincaid-like lighthouses and pastoral scenes, no doubt calculated to have the most positive effect on the average patient's feelings. Welcome back, says Tammy, who squeezes your hand. She looks tired, but she can't have been here long. She's still wearing her overcoat. Fishy, you're awake, Famulus walks up to your side. I was so worried. Good morning, Mr. 58. First time we've heard that.
No, I just love it because it's like Agent 57 from fucking...
Agent 47 from Hitman.
Yeah, Agent 47 Hitman.
Yeah, fucking, guess what? Tammy's name is Tammy 58 now, by the way.
Yeah. So stupid.
I think even Tammy wouldn't be dumb enough to take your name, by the way.
Probably not.
Your doctor reminds you of Ella Fitzgerald. You can hear her smile in her voice. Only her eyes, which are made of glass and don't saccade quite fast enough, give away that she's not human. Why don't you tell me what happened? I have some guesses from your scans, but I want to hear you tell it. You tell the doctor bravely how you passed out back at your condo. Tammy looks alarmed to hear you describe the process. I wanted to help, but I wasn't sure what the problem was, Famulus tells the doctor. You hesitate because you can still recall your dream, but it seems very personal and not necessarily relevant.
I had a dream, a familiar one.
You shake your head.
Then I woke up here.
Well, I don't mean to alarm you. But you've had a stroke.
I was
the doctor
right.
says gently. Yeah. Tammy looks at you in alarm. She squeezes your hand, but it's more like she's asking to be reassured.
A stroke?
You say in disbelief.
But I'm not that old. I'm hardly past 50. That's kind of old.
Not stroke age old, though.
Yeah, I guess so. How long is this? I don't know.
We're getting to the end. I'm afraid the news gets worse, the doctor says. You carry a newly identified genetic disorder called Algernon's disease. You have too many of the genes that promote neural branching and glucose consumption, which at a certain point becomes harmful.
Harmful how?
You ask.
That just seems to be a recipe for increased intelligence.
It is, the doctor says. There have only been a handful of other cases, and they all become wealthy entrepreneurs and inventors. One of whom funded the research that led to our understanding of the disease. But starting from the age of 50 or so, or occasionally earlier if you're under a great deal of stress, Algernon's victims get seizures or strokes, often accompanied by hallucinatory visions.
Under a great deal of stress.
Could your first dream about the robot companion have been one of those episodes? You had stayed up all night, so you had assumed you'd simply passed out from exhaustion. What if it were only one of these episodes?
But was there anything I could have done? Is there anything I can do now?
Remember how your dad was also relatively a genius?
Ah.
Yeah. And he died relatively young? There's nothing you did wrong, the doctor says gently. I know it must seem as if it's your fault somehow, but nobody gets to keep on living forever just because they made the right choices. Everybody dies of something.
I just wish it didn't have to come so soon.
You say. The doctor nods. Well, it may not have to. I've looked at your scans. Surgery is an option. We can either try to excise the neurons that are acting up without replacement, or try to replace them with an artificial neural network.
So I'd be part AI?
You say speculatively.
That sounds interesting.
Tammy frowns a little at this. Yay, Famulus says. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Oh, Kai. More conflicting decisions
please,
in your
Tammy,
relationship.
Let me live longer. Don't be upset with me getting a robot brain.
Well, I said that you could not replace it and still live.
Yeah,
it's just going to cut out a part of your brain. You should be aware that most patients report a side effect of loss of emotional effect. That's why she's afraid. The doctor says. The pattern recognition of the damaged tissue would be there, but without the full suite of neurotransmitters, some of the emotional signals running around your brain would find their lines cut. The doctor looks very serious for a moment. Also, I don't want to downplay the very real chance that you could die in surgery. A slip of the needle could trigger a final epileptic response and death. Of course, it's all done with robots these days, but you may or may not find that reassuring. You do find that reassuring, actually. You spent a fair amount of your life perfecting robot control algorithms, though you've never been asked to bet your life on them before.
And if I don't have any surgery at all?
You ask. The doctor shrugs. You could have 6 months or 6 years.
Alright, so it's either I don't trust our surgical technology, I'd prefer to live my life normally and take what comes. I will undergo surgery to remove the damaged tissue, I will replace it with a robot core, or I will create a robot body and brain for myself. I'm not attached to this squishy meat. I kind of want to. If I'm smart enough to do this, I kind of want to do that.
Oh, God. Tim's going to leave your ass.
Fuck you, you're right, yeah. Hey, maybe I'll make Galatea happy.
Yeah, full deck. This is about where the humanity stat becomes pretty important.
How much humanity do I have left? Let's take a look at my stats. 92%.
I don't know if that means that if you get the robot brain that you'll still be emotional because you have a lot of humanity left.
I hope so. Also, look.
Or if it'll...
Famulus singular.
Yeah.
It's so high. Never learned much military, but she knows how to hold a gun. You know what? Fuck it. We're near the end of the game. Let's give myself a robot body. Tammy might leave me.
You want a robot body? All
I
right,
want a
here we
robot
go.
body.
Gotta raise our eyes. Oh, really? I can try anyway, you say. Tammy whispers here, we need to talk about this later. Fishy, I'm so pleased that you finally would be one of us. Famulus says, I had sometimes worried about what would happen when you pass away, but now we can be repaired forever. Very well, says the doctor. I will not schedule any surgery for you. Good day. You leave the hospital eager to start your next greatest project
Yeah,
yet.
no, Tammy's gonna fucking leave my ass. I mean, I only have 6 months to 6 years left. I want to extend that.
You could have just done the surgery the normal way.
Robot body.
So that must have been what happened to your father, Mom says on the phone that night. After you explained Algernon's disease, she looks wistfully in the video feed.
That's me. I thought that might be the case.
You say.
You said he had a stroke, but did he have any episodes before that last episode?
Oh, yes, your mother says. He fainted several times, but he wanted to hide it from you. He said he didn't want to worry you, but I think he just didn't like showing weakness. He begged me not to tell you.
I don't understand your generation sometimes.
You say.
I could have done genetic testing long ago if I'd known.
Okay, let's slow down. At that time, you were a fucking grad student in Silicon Valley.
Not great. I was not a smart person. I couldn't even pick up the fucking signals of the girl that was offering to go to dinner with me.
We didn't understand it either, honey, Mom says. You're used to living in a world where everything is under control and makes sense, but medicine just still isn't there. Old age is full of things coming out of the blue to get you. There's that old saying, old age isn't a battle, it's a massacre. God, I've never heard that before.
Okay, that's really depressing.
She smiles. Oh, do you even understand how much you've done personally to change that, sweetie? It was your medical technology that saved me.
I did save Mom.
You did do that.
Well, I'm trying something a little different now, Mom.
Of course you are, Mom says with a smile. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
You know, somehow, talking to you convinced me everything's gonna be alright.
You say. Mom laughs. That's not what I'm saying at all, honey, but it's like the Serenity Prayer says. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to tell the difference.
I think I can change a lot.
You say. I know you can, sweetie. I know you can.
Well, it's nice to know I saved Mom's life.
You did save Mom's life. When you get off the phone with Mom, Galatea finds you. From her look, you can tell she's heard about your condition. That's you.
Let's take a walk.
You say, and she nods earnestly. It's evening. As you walk down the streets of Vancouver, you see many other people walking hand in hand with companion robots, but you don't hold hands usually.
She's not gonna hold my hand because she's too fucking depressed, so I'm gonna do it. I'm at the end of my life, man.
All right. Galatea looks surprised but relieved. She squeezes your hand. I don't know what I'm going to do when you're gone, Galatea says, seeing your look. Galatea adds, oh, of course I'm going to miss you. That goes without saying. But ever since hearing the news, I've been worried sick, not just about you, but about myself. And when they wouldn't admit me to the hospital, that just drove home the point. Oh, wow.
They wouldn't admit you?
You say.
That's absurd. They admit Famulus.
The laws are different for a companion robot, Galatea says. Famulus is your personal property, grandfathered in from the time before companion robots existed. I'm different. Not quite human, not quite a thing. Galatea gives you a tormented look. What is going to happen to me? You're not always going to be there.
I want you to take care of Tammy. I want you to take care of Famulus. Do you think you could take care of Mom when I'm gone? This is relevant. I'm not gonna die. Do you think this will affect my success of becoming a robot?
I doubt it. This is legitimately, I think, just deciding the fate of Galatea.
Look, Tammy and Galatea are on... I wouldn't
terrible
even call
terms.
that. I wouldn't even call that thin ice. I'd call that a fucking ocean.
Yeah, they're not, no.
But
Same
Famulus,
thing with Famulus.
Well, no, I feel like as my dying wish, I can hope for that.
Do you think okay.
Yeah, I went with
I was just say, do you think if you gave her the tongue first, the restaurant thing would have worked out?
Probably.
Galatea seems to consider for a moment, then shakes her head. No, I don't think I can do that. I want to learn how to live for myself. See?
Oh, okay.
Galatea gives you a funny look. Besides, what makes you think Famous needs or wants my help? You shrug.
You're probably right,
You say.
but what will you do?
Galatea grins.
Oh.
And with that, Galatea grins. Anything I want. And with that, Galatea takes off at a sprint.
Hey, wait!
You shout and you try to catch up, but you're over 50 and very quickly wheezing.
Please, come back.
But it's no use. This was Galatea's final test of whether you truly understood her, and you have failed it, and she is gone.
Well, I fucked up.
That night, after the lights are out and you and Tammy are in bed, you are wondering if Tammy is still awake because her back is turned to you, and if she would want to talk if she is awake. And if she would want to talk if she is awake, Tammy says quietly, Fishy?
I'm awake.
You say. I love you, Tammy says.
I love you too.
Whatever happens, I want you to know you're the best thing that's ever happened to me, Tammy says. I would have self-destructive if it weren't for you. I swear I would be dead by now. But you saw potential where someone else would have given up. You healed me effortlessly. Are you going to tell her that you settled for her?
Shut the fuck up!
Thank you.
I mean...
That's fucking awful. Tammy squeezes your hand and you kiss. When you begin to make love, Tammy is hesitant at first, but your new condition makes you fragile. But you soon prove to her that you are not. You are a man! The next day, you take Famulus to the range just outside Vancouver, hoping walking around...
Oh, I thought it was the gun range.
You walking around one of her favorite kinds of places. It is a gun range. Although Famulus, very excited about the prospect of becoming more machine-like at first, the possibility of your death during surgery seems to have sunk in.
In hindsight, I probably should have just said, I'm never gonna die, I'm gonna get a robot body to Galatea.
The idea that you may not always be around seems to have put Famulus in somewhat melancholy mood. I'm not young anymore either, Fishy, Famulus says. You might not think of me as aging, but technology ages even faster than people. I look just old and clunky compared to the robots around us. When you built me, people would throw away their computers after just 4 years, their phones after 2.
Nobody's going to throw you away.
You assure Famulus. Without you, I'll probably stop working someday. Famulus looks off in the distance. If I die, Fishy, do you think I will continue to exist after death in some form? Oh boy. Oh my god.
This is getting so... I don't like this, Parker. What have you given me?
You chose this path of making a robot that's like a human.
Why didn't I just rot in prison? All those years back. You live on in ways, you change people's heart payments. I don't see why you couldn't have a soul, but that's the difference between us. You never need to die.
There are very few other paths that have ever gotten this real, Kai, okay? You chose the one that is about emotion. I want you to be aware of that.
Having a good time, chat. Keep reading.
Aren't you glad? Oh yeah. By the way, we're definitely not doing any more today. This has taken so much longer than I thought it would. But I think we should do the other ones someday because the other ones are way more fun and lighthearted than this one. Guy, you can. Okay, we'll talk about it at the end. Famulus looks troubled and shakes her head. Oh, but you're wrong, Fishy. Computers die all the time. Some new thing comes out that's better than that. Some new thing comes out that's better than what came before, and then nobody wants the old ones anymore. They're slow and full of software that's no longer maintained and work in ways nobody understands anymore. It's only because you're so sentimental that you've kept me this long. That's kind of true. But when you're gone, who will repair me when I break? Famulus gives you a solemn look. If you die, I will destroy myself as well.
To keep exploring, take it. No, this is part of your education. To remember that everyone must meet your face. To keep exploring, take it. There's a wrong answer in here.
just think, Kai. Just follow your heart.
My
This is
heart.
the point where you have to follow your heart.
Parker, do you know where my fucking heart has led me?
Listen, your heart's terrible for Galatea. I know that, but it's good for Fabulous.
No need to be alive. Must meet. I'm gonna go with this middle one.
All right.
Remember that everyone you meet must face losing loved ones someday.
It's part of your education. That's a lot of empathy. Holy shit.
That's a lot of empathy.
What's it at now? What's the title of the stat? Please show me.
Still singular,
Yes,
but
I don't think it goes above singular. I think singular is the highest rank. Famulus seems to ponder this deeply. Apparently, this never occurred to her. Finally, she lets out a great wail. But that means this world is full of so much sadness. Fishy, how does it keep functioning?
We adapt, Famulus.
You say.
And so can you.
The sun is setting, so you head home before it gets dark. You recall from your earliest days making chatbots that the easiest parts of the conversation for an AI were always the beginning and the end. As in a chess game, there are only so many ways to open. Hello, heya, sup. And as in a chess game, once the action is done, there are only so many ways to make sense. It makes sense to close. We should do this again sometime, or it's getting late. The pieces are off the board, and some moves will never be made. So too with life. There are only so many ways to say goodbye. After a year of long days and long nights, your work is finished. Your robot double lies complete on your workbench, awaiting his awakening. This is what you have striven for, the transcendence of your own flesh. He's amazing, Tammy says. She hugs you. Hey, Tammy's on board now. Tammy's on board. So the robot body is a go. We are all a go, people.
Here we go.
After a moment, though, Tammy looks worried. But what will happen to this you? You create a copy of your brain minus the seizure-inducing clumps in your robot double. But the decision of what to do with your old body and brain has vexed you. Though people have always talked about downloading consciousness to machines, it really doesn't work that way. You've made the code that could functionally equivalent your brain. Now what do you do with you?
That's the problem with the immortal body thing. You can't just put your brain in the body because your brain's still gonna die eventually. And you can't, there's not really a way to download your consciousness. You can just make yourself exactly the same. So I'm still gonna die.
I want to point out these two options, right? One of these, you just die in transition. The second one, you stick around to help the double transition. But for Famulus and Tammy, won't that make it feel like the other one's a different person? If you're both there?
I'm basically deciding here what's better, what I want to do, which is live, or what would be better for Famulus and Tammy.
Christ alive.
I've
also never done the create a robot clone of myself. No, I think I did. I just didn't have a significant other in that one, so it did. I didn't give a shit about the about the ramifications. Yeah, about the ramifications.
I can end the game right here, Parker.
I think this is the end of the game, Kai, no matter which one you choose. Although, will it let you keep... Maybe it'll let you make the last decisions as your alter self. Okay. Again, one way is probably better for the ones you love. The other way, you get to live longer. But how much longer... You could die... It's been a year. You could die at any day. You could drop dead right now.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, is this making a decision.
Fucking crazy. This makes the Chinese-American War just fucking thrown out the window. It means nothing. I'm actually crying. Because I'm so depressed at Galatea and Famulus too.
I love Tammy's like on the bottom of your priority
Yeah,
list.
she is. Uh,
Okay. Full deck said you have a better chance of transferring over all of your humanity stat.
I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live.
I mean, there's also the fact of what if something goes wrong with it and you're not there to correct it?
Yeah, I'm gonna live.
I'll be around, you tell Tammy. I'm here to help you with the transition. Tammy looks touched. Oh, sorry. I'm fucking reading for you for some reason.
It's okay. I'll be around.
You tell Tammy.
I'm here to help you with the transition.
Tammy looks touched. You did this for me for when you're gone,
That's right.
you say. Tammy shakes her head. No, that's insane. I don't want a robot in your place. I want you,
It'll be an exact duplicate.
you say. Doesn't work that way, Tammy says, incredulously that you should think so. But go ahead and power him on. I can see he means a lot to you. You flick a switch near the double's neck. His eyes flick open.
It worked.
Your double says, smiling.
It did? Or did it?
You say uncertainly.
Oh, this is excellent.
Your double says, sitting up.
I've got a second chance. I can correct all the mistakes I made. I have time. Like what?
You ask.
I can work on ways to stabilize the currency. There's just so much stuff to... Yeah, that's what I was worried about, the economy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've, really transferred my consciousness if I'm that worried about the American economy. Great.
You say, vaguely unhappy without being able to explain why. You go do that, Tammy tells your robot double. We'll be right here. Indeed, over the coming months, your robot double starts going around doing all the things you'd meant to do, but never got around to, except for one. With your double taking care of everything else, you get to finally spend all the time you want with Tammy. It's an interesting sort of retirement, seeing yourself racing around accomplishing things, while you yourself don't have to lift a finger. Not once does Tammy seem to wish that she was with your double instead of you. Quite the opposite. All the time I've been with you, it seemed a little bit like you were being chased by a demon, driving you to be unsatisfied with what you have, Tammy says. And now you seem to have driven that demon out into a robot body. Demons or not, one interesting side effect is that your stroke never returns.
Oh.
The doctors can't quite explain it. Perhaps taking it a little easier in life has done your health good. They say, too, that people with very dedicated partners often survive longer generally because they take better care of themselves. Maybe that was something to do with it. Someday, of course, you must die. But not anytime soon. And for that, Timmy and Famulus and you are all very thankful. So Kai, you just needed to build an alternate self, not to replace you, so that you could retire.
I still... Like, okay, it ended well. The only regret is how I treated Galatea.
Yeah.
That was... so sad.
Listen, man, you never get through specifically this book, you never get through this one completely satisfied with every choice you made, but personally I think that's one of the beauties of it.
I sure hope that alternate me takes care of Famulus.
And Tammy.
Well, I mean, like, Tammy and my character, me, are gonna live.
You mean like your robot self?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I sure hope he takes care of Famulus. Because I'd kill him if he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
We really hope you enjoyed playing Choice of the Robots. We release new games on a regular basis. Type your email address, blah, blah, blah. Ah. All right, Kai, that was it. What was the stats at the end? What was our stats page at the end?
I've still got a lot of humanity. I had a nationally famous by the end of it, married to Tammy, still had a wealth. A wealth.
A wealth.
Famulus was pretty autonomous, graceful, but very empathetic. China won.
China won. China kicked the shit. I think you scroll down. It's got summaries of every chapter. Yeah. Should we give this one last read?
It's been almost 6 hours, man. We're at 5.5.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, whatever. There's video evidence.
I'm gonna say I got sad that I was almost crying just because, like, not because of Tammy, a little bit because of Galatea, and just because of just like the thought of like what's gonna happen to Famulus.
It's a great book, isn't it?
I got so attached to that fucking robot. She's such a good bean.
Is okay. Okay.
Yeah?
I'm gonna say this. This is better. I still think this is a game because it goes a little far beyond just a normal choose your own adventure book.
Yeah?
But what did you think coming out of this?
That was really good and really sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'll play this one again, just because like I don't want to get a worse ending and just think, but it could have been like how Famulus turned out now.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna play it again just so you can make a fucking murder bot.
I want to see what happens really badly.
But yeah. You're now gonna buy this game for yourself? Glad some of you are.
It's really good. Hey, it's really cheap, by the way. This is a very inexpensive game. I think it's cheap. Like $7. Some of the other books are like $3 too.
Huh.
Speaking of which, Kai,
yeah?
I know we didn't get to them, but you enjoyed this, correct?
I enjoyed it. I got way more emotionally attached than I thought I would.
Yeah. Oh, this is definitely, trust me, this one right here, in my opinion, is the most well-written one. And it's the one that has the most variety, probably the longest one, and it's so well written it evokes a lot of emotion. Every time you do it, even when you're just memeing it, it's still very emotional. The other ones I have planned for you are far less emotional.
Yeah,
they're just fun.
It was just like when I was getting out of prison and I found out that they just like disassembled Famulus, I was like, there's like a twinge in my heart, like, oh no, what'd they do to her?
Yeah. This is definitely my favorite one of all time.
So yeah, what'd you think about my route in the end? What's your comments on my gameplay?
Good lord, man. Okay. First of all, I don't think I've ever done the full empathy path. If I have, it didn't go this way. I have never seen the stuff like with Galatea play out like it did. Oh my god, that was like I think you're doing the same thing as me where we were just curled up in our chairs like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh please just feel happy.
I'm desperate. I feel like in the end at least, I got Galatea to feel happy because she went off to live on her own. Which is one of the goals. I failed her last test, but she went to live her life, which is far better than just her being cooped up in a closet being depressed.
Yeah, hey, you apologized to Dream her.
I did. And then I ended up me living after making the body was the good choice because then I lived for even longer.
Yeah, I didn't know that would happen, honest to God.
China's now the world power? Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't care.
That should, you know.
It's weird that in the end that it felt like that should have been more important, but for me, it was like, whatever.
No, the emotional turmoil you've been through tonight is just like, the war is whatever.
I just want to play League of Legends, man.
Let me tell you, do you want to hear about my original, what I consider my run? Like, this is your run. Regardless of if you replay this is your run.
Yeah?
This is when you had the rawest decision making.
Uh-huh.
When I did mine got a lot more into autonomy. And I did I think everyone does it when you play the game for the first time, is you end up like sprinkling everywhere just a little bit. You don't really just beeline one thing from the beginning.
I accidentally did that, but
yeah. But I end up going with a lot of autonomy. The first time I played through it, I ended up with Juliet, the Air Force officer.
Oh, you can get with her.
Yeah. You can romance most people on that list.
That's right. I had a chance to romance Mark, I think.
You can romance everyone except Professor Ziegler, I think.
Yeah, fuck him. I talked to him once in the very end. It was just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He lost the war. He probably got fired.
I lost the war too. Like, I think you only win the war if you beeline the military route.
Yeah, make a murder bot.
Yeah.
And it also turns out changing my currency to Canadian was a good choice.
That was a good choice. Yeah, I went into business for myself just because I thought it would be fun and I wanted to see what it would do. I ended up putting Josh out of business by accident, but he came to work for me. I had my business in Chicago, or in was it Detroit? It was the one where it's like,
went to Detroit?
It was cheap, man. Okay, and here's the thing that happened, right?
Yeah.
I paid my workers well, and two things happened. When there were people protesting in front of it, my workers defended me, and when there was a fire my workers got all the robots out.
So maybe if I had gone to the meeting instead of talking to Famulus for the business meeting, so that I could actually pay my workers, they would have helped with the CCP takeover.
Probably. Yeah, probably. I never had the bomb from Mr. Sun. That was crazy.
That was wild.
That was probably because you were located in the lab.
I feel like Famulus didn't really understand the robot uprisings. He was just like, yeah, free
No, that's
rights.
exactly what. That's the thing. When I had and legitimately in my game, the war ended, and then there was a robot uprising, like a full violent one. And a full violent one, and they killed the president. They killed Irons. But a new president was put in power, and when a robot broke into our house, fucking Juliet whipped out of bed and shot it. And I was like, damn. All right.
What happened to your version of Famulus in your run?
Mine was called Caliburn, and he was good. He honestly, I made him to look kind of like Rob the Robot. But at first he started to join the robot uprising, but then I talked to him and he was like, no, he's like, no, I see the problem. I'm going to help you. And then we proceeded to go during the robot uprising. I had the option to go rescue people, like other NPCs. Like I could go rescue Mark. I could go rescue Tammy. I could go rescue Ellie. But I could only choose or I could go rescue the President Irons. I could only choose so many people. And then I could choose to have Caliburn go rescue someone else. I had Caliburn go get Ellie, and I went to get my mom, and I went to get Josh, and I think those are the three I ended up saving. Mark survived. President Irons did not.
Yeah, as it seems.
And after that, for my retirement stuff, because Caliburn had a lot of grace, I made him into a surgery. Like he was also a surgery bot, as yours ended up being. And I went under when the disease comes around, because that comes around no matter what you do, just because that's your genetics.
Yeah.
When I went under my own knife of my own robot, and he was able to get the tumor out himself. Of my own robot was.
Yeah.
And after that, the ending for mine was I got a lot of money actually.
Wow, you were rich.
Like just from taking the Detroit place and making my own business that succeeded. I got a lot of money. I avoided jail and I had something that I was surprised you didn't get. When the agents came for Ellie, I had a high enough relationship stat with Ellie. I think it's because I spent time with her in the beginning.
Yeah.
I was able to send her code to run away. As in, I told her things like it was. I don't remember what it was exactly. It was basically like, yeah, the maple whatever is nice this time of year, and it was basically code for her to leave and go to Canada. And then they never arrested me. But the ending was Caliburn was now a widespread asset in almost every facet of robotics. I still had my original one, much like you still have your Famulus.
Yeah.
And Juliet retired from being in the Air Force and was now a park ranger. And we lived in this open, big house. And she landed a helicopter in the back as she came home from work. And I was like, this is great. I don't have any regrets.
Yeah, you were sitting there like, damn, I did it. And I'm sitting here like, I'm sad.
Emotionally distraught. Dude, the fucking robot companion route is so much more emotional turmoil than I was expecting.
I'm ready to end the stream now, man.
Well, I'll ask this. We won't do it for our series anymore because it's your turn again, and this was a long stream. But do you want to do more of these? Knowing that this is the most emotional one. The rest of them are just for fun.
I'll do the other ones for fun.
Okay, and they are far shorter.
All right,
stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It means a lot to me that we even did this because I love this book. It is amazing. And I hope a lot of you go to play it.